Shovels is better than all of you.
To Estonian Parliament.
Hi, welcome to Zeitgeist. I'm your
I stole that joke from Kesha.
Dungeon Master Redbeard.
No one would have known if you didn't say anything. Hello.
Tonight, I'm enjoying a nice Guinness.
Oh. I have, nothing. I'm gonna dehydrate and die.
Are we doing that? I have discount lemonade.
I have water.
I have tea.
Joining me tonight is Water, played by Sam.
You drink me or you'll die.
Tea, played by Catherine.
I'm so calming and soothing.
Nothing, played by James.
I'm gonna dehydrate and die.
And Discount Lemonade, played by Carter.
I'm the only specific one.
Guinness, was it?
Water is specific.
You're the DM. Chris, you're the DM. You're not a person.
Oh, yeah, we don't have a single picture of your face.
Is he even real?
If he is,
Probably.
he's gonna die.
I've also got water in my Kraken mug.
I should have water. I think I have some somewhere, but I'd have to, like, get up,
Anyway,
walk.
Hydration is so draining.
last time on Zeitgeist, our heroes bullied some outlaws that were bullying each other.
They deserved it.
Probably did.
Wow, James. What were they wearing, huh?
I don't know.
And found their way up a hill into the depths of the Cloudwood region of the city.
But you forgot something really important before we got in a fight with thugs. We picked up Shrubbles. He is part of our
James,
party
stop
now.
trying to make Shrubbles a thing.
Oh, he is a thing.
And that's all he is.
Yeah, he's the thing. Not a person.
Doesn't get a vote.
We did pick up Shrubbles, which is James's plant-like familiar. Not familiar, just a plant that can follow him around.
Has sentience.
Does my paperwork.
Does his
It
paperwork.
screams with every step.
Nah, he hasn't, like, come to the awareness of existential dread yet. He's, like, 2 days
Oh
old.
no, I just meant that every waking second for him is pain.
They then made
He
their
is kind of
way.
walking on like his lungs/tongue. If you think about it from like a human anatomy's perspective.
Yeah.
They then made their way up to the camp of the Skyseer, Navard Sechem.
One important thing, Zeodor is not there because Zeodor took the people we arrested back to Bookham and Central, and is going to go analyze the oil samples back in Central. So I am not there currently.
So you guys found the camp of Navard and sat down to speak with him when my computer decided to shit itself.
Yep.
Did you find out what happened?
I don't know. And I don't... That kind of worries me more. I mean, it hasn't done anything else weird this week, but...
If it happens at the same time... Because it always happens, like, getting nearer the end of stream.
Yeah.
Around
It's
9.
always like 2 hours and 15 minutes in.
Yeah, if we actually do end at 9:30 tonight, we'll probably miss it.
So the party minus Zeodor sat down with Navard and were prepared to see what his involvement with the Fey terrorist Gale exactly is.
Yeah,
What
that sounds
exactly
about
is
right.
your involvement with the Fey terrorists?
Exactly.
I feel like terrorist may be a strong word without understanding her
Nina
motives.
said it better when she asked we'd like to meet with Vale because I think
Vale.
they... Sorry.
Get their name right, Catherine.
Been reading too much Mistborn.
Right?
Catherine, we're not
Stormlight.
going skiing in
Stop.
Colorado.
With Gale. Because I think you're your prediction may have had two meanings. So we want to meet Gale. And I fully expect her to make us all sit down and play Gale Force Winds.
All right. So you're sitting there with the. Oh, let me bring his picture up again.
With Skyseer, Navard, Stetchum.
Yeah, there he is. I didn't actually see anything specifically saying that he was blind, but he certainly looks blind.
He definitely looks like he has cataracts, but he has to be.
He looks like Jordy LaForge once he gets the fake eyes.
But he does have to be able to see the stars to Skyseer.
But it might be one of those things like he's ascended beyond the need for mortal eyes.
Also, isn't this chapter called The Dying Skyseer?
Don't talk about the dying Skyseer.
I mean, it's all over.
I'm dying.
It's all over our
That's
stuff.
Ted. We're gonna meet him at the very end. Hi, I'm Ted. I'm a Skyseer and I'm also dying. Blah.
First rule of the Dying Skyseer: don't talk about the Dying Skyseer.
All right.
Second rule: talk
All
about
right.
it a lot.
Second rule, stab Ilfari and maybe that's the Dying Skyseer.
No.
You guys.
All Skyseers can be dying.
I clicked the hammer back on my gun.
You take a seat in the tent. The light from smoldering incense sticks is dim to spare the old man's eyes. A faint stench of withering cloys in the air, not quite masked by fragrant scents of cinnamon and cloves.
Okay, so he's not blind then. Because
Yeah,
it
I
just
guess
said
so.
that it was dim light to spare his eyes.
Yeah, I guess
Be
so.
weird to spare a blind man's eyes.
How might I help you all? I don't often take visitors, but something tells me you have
I was
a...
putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, don't punch me.
What I said last time.
We've come about Nalasa. Have you heard?
I haven't heard anything recently, but you're coming on her behalf with that premise. I think I know what it's about.
Well, you did see it.
An adopted daughter will blindly ride the winds to her demise, I believe I told my nephew.
Yeah.
Riding the wind might not have been her demise, but it did occur.
Oh? Why don't you tell me more?
Well, she was caught stealing something, perhaps. We think maybe on behalf of Gale. I was about to say Hale, and that's also wrong.
Can you introduce us to Male?
No, she's female.
What do you want?
She was then chased out of the building, found herself able to fly temporarily, and then fell to her death, being impaled upon the fence outside of the not constabulary consulate.
Delaran Consulate.
Though before that, she was also shot and slashed with some kind of claws, so, you know.
Right.
Oh my. Jesus. Well, anything that's happened to her, I suppose, was of her own choices. I knew that Gale was gonna get her into trouble, but what's an old man to do?
Yeah. Ever since we heard about her connection to Gale, I've been kind of wondering if maybe that vision had a double meaning, and so do you know how to get in touch with Gale? We'd like to speak with her.
I might be able to work something out. I know she's been causing some mischief in the city, and she does come by here every now and again to ask for guidance, but she doesn't listen to me much. Last time she'd visited, she followed my advice, though, and found a mutual threat that... Or, wait. She says that she's turned something up. I don't know all the details specifically, but maybe you'd be able to help her figure out something. She seemed to imply it was something beyond the squabbles of politics.
Well, I mean, it might be worth meeting her to find out what she's trying to do. A lot of people seem upset by what she's doing, but maybe she has a good reason.
I'll see if I can arrange for her to meet with you, but I'd ask something of you in return.
Very well. I don't see why we would say no. I don't see why I would say no.
Well, to put it quite bluntly, I'm dying.
Damn it.
So what can you do for a dying man?
I mean, think I've done well enough on this world. 120 years is a lot to ask of a mortal soul.
And a human, right?
I am.
It's a bit longer lived than most humans. Not that I have any lifespan compared to that.
It says that the 4-year-old
It says,
bird.
it says 5-year-old bird who's gonna die when he's 20. Unless I can hit level 20 druid.
No multi-classing for Ilferi or he dies young.
Shit, I didn't think about that.
Stray from the path and you will die.
Lately, the skies have been clouded. It's been hard to see the stars and interpret them. The fog of industry and something else, I fear, lays over this city. And I'd like just one last chance to get out from it and see the stars and do what I can as I leave this earth to guide its people in the right way.
And how can we help you with that, Mr. Session?
It may seem unorthodox, but I might have an idea. But I'll let you speak first.
I want to go to the peak of Cauldron Hill. It's the highest point in the city, and should have clear skies amongst the magics that gather there. Do you...
Recommend that.
Well, how much do you know about Cauldron Hill?
What do I have to roll to find out if I know that?
Let's say history check.
All I want for Christmas is better rolls.
I should probably have my character sheet.
I'll give 4. I mean, I don't know history. I've lived here for 2 years. No, 6 months.
I was
Right.
gonna say, I thought you were less than that.
Well, 6 months is 2 years for a bird.
Mina, did you roll? Or you're still trying to pull up your sheet?
I forgot to bring in my laptop, which I normally do.
It's okay.
It's 15 plus I think I have a 2, so I think it's 17 total.
Yeah, so you've heard rumors, and Jack, you've definitely heard rumors, but don't really know what's substantial. You know of Cauldron Hill. Mina, you've heard tales of a coven of witches who used to live on the hill that was tracked down and murdered, and it's said to have cursed that that area, and it's off limits to people, and you know that the mayor of Cauldron Hill is said to be the protector that keeps the people from the evils of the hill.
Did you say mayor or mayor?
Mayor?
Okay.
Huh?
I heard mare too, like M-A-R-E, like
Like a
there's a
horse.
giant horse
Oh.
on Cauldron Hill that keeps the people. I'm like, okay.
You must tame the mare.
I
Easy.
thought I could like give her an apple and sneak around.
No, Catherine, you sneak up while you haven't got the stables yet. You don't
Nope.
even know. You don't even know.
I don't even know.
You don't even know what you don't know.
I know how I'm gonna get the worm jacket, and it's not the way you got it, so there.
Pro tip, you cannot register a bear at the stables. I tried.
Good to know.
Good to know.
It takes a point off the score right there.
Right.
Is there any?
So I know we're not supposed to go there, but fuck it.
Is there anything in particular that makes this place more alluring than, say, the ocean?
I'm not sure if that would be sufficient. And being closer to the stars really aids with the talent.
The ocean is literally at sea level.
I can tell you have some of the talent in you,
It's been fostered, but
but you are young
Not very.
yet. You will learn.
I hope so. I've been studying. I've been doing what I can without anyone to teach me.
You've come very far for one so young.
It's, hereditary, kinda? I don't know. I don't know much about my flock.
Well, the ways of the stars are not always easy to interpret or understand. What causes one to be given the talent over another? But regardless, would you do this for me? Would you be able to
I think we could do that.
get permission from the mayor, perhaps, and
Oh.
escort me?
Yeah, I think
Do
that's
we
possible.
need permission? I mean, legally we do, but do you want us to get
Better to ask
permission?
a man's-
We'll go
I've-
ask. If he says no, we do it
It's
anyway.
better to
I've-
respectfully enter a man's house.
I've
than you can
heard
with fairy.
rumors that the mayor also can provide protection for those seeking to go up into the mountains against the evils that lurk there. He is more than just a mayor. He's something of a protector, I hear, keeping the evils at bay.
I don't see any harm in talking to him.
We can give it a shot. He just seems, I guess we don't actually know much about him. I just started reading about him in the manual, and I don't like him for that.
Mayor.
Actually, hold on.
You're
I
looking
don't
at
like him. I realize he's no. He's the reason that one of my contacts has to do like the Cloudwood old traditions,
Right.
right? He's the reason that those are outlawed.
Mayor McBannon.
I believe so. Unless. Oh no, my bad.
Governor.
Mayor
are-
Doyle Idols.
Okay,
is
so
the
yeah,
one
there's
I
a
don't like.
there's a different mayor for each district.
Okay, my bad. Maybe I like him. I don't know.
Maybe I like him. Il Fairy 2019.
We'll take our leave of you, Master Sechem, and come back to you when we have permission, or we're sneaking you in.
We'll be back either way.
Actually, would it be possible for me to do a sky seeing with you sometime soon?
Yes, I hope that atop the hill we should be open to the stars and be able to have wisdom bestowed upon us. That is my hope anyway. I can't exactly explain it, but something tells me that that is where I need to be.
Alright.
We'll get you there, no matter what.
And I'll see if I can get a hold of Gale. She can be hard to pin down sometimes, but...
Are you a druid by any chance?
Not in the traditional sense. I don't
Okay.
turn into monkeys or anything, but...
Monkeys are definitely the first thing I go to when I think of druids, too.
First animal that popped in my head.
Okay,
I know some herbs and medicines, but I possess no
well, the turning
magical
to animals
talents.
thing was actually what I was wondering about.
There you go. I also have a use of an old ritual that would aid me to give me strength to climb a mountain. That some of my colleagues have procured, and should aid us if we're able to get the permission we seek.
Awesome.
Do you require anything to make sure that ritual happens when you need it?
It's a interesting type of bit of magic. From what we've been able to determine, it should share the stamina of any willing companions, so that their strength can be lended to one as old and feeble as myself.
Alright, we'll just feed him shrubbles.
How dare you? Also, I was going to just offer myself. If I'm going to be able to be mentored, it's the least I can do.
That'd be appreciated. Well, you're welcome to spend the night here, or what have
How
you.
late is it?
I think it's getting on. It's like 7:30.
Yeah, we need to get back to town and catch up with Zeodor.
Did you guys want to take a short rest here? You had mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll take a short
I would
rest
love to
here.
take a short
then
rest before
hook
we-
up back with Zeodor and then go see the mayor.
All right. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, Zeodor at the... somewhere.
the Hall of Justice,
Sure.
also known as
assume,
the Roland Homeland Constabulary.
I mean, I assume that's where I take the criminals to be booked. We take them to the Hall of Justice. It's the hall where justice is served.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not to be confused with the cafeteria of justice, which is where justice is served, but that's completely different.
Oh my god.
They only have ice in the cafeteria?
Just ice.
So anyway, I assume it's a relatively uneventful booking.
Yeah, it's by the books. Sorry.
What
What
is
is wrong with you?
I throw
I'm
the book
sorry.
at them.
Like,
I'm just in a mood.
Okay. So after the bad pun segment of the script,
Yeah.
Zeodor is going to go back to his workshop, because we kind of vaguely established that Zeodor has a workshop somewhere.
Yeah,
But anyway.
Yeah, that would make sense. There are like office spaces and like extra rooms in the constabulary. It makes sense for there to be some room for tinkering. May or may not be a shared space.
Yeah, I imagine that it's like a semi-shared space where like I have a corner, but it's like kind of a makerspace deal, and
Yeah.
Zeodor's always stealing everyone else's clamps. I give them back, but I need them more.
My clamps.
These clamps.
I had the same thought, but I was trying to stay focused.
Thank you. I appreciate it,
Doesn't
Mina.
work.
I hypocritically appreciate it too. Anyway,
Yes.
so what I want to do is I want to take the sample of the oil that we took from the House of Bluebirds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And I want to take the sample of the glowing oil that we took from Axis Island, and I want to do just a few side-by-side comparison tests to see if they might be the same. So,
The
street
glowing
testing
oil
is
was
really
from
bad.
that robot, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The robot that we know was a Denoran military experiment.
So it was the clamps.
I'm sorry.
Robot.
Yeah,
Never mind.
It's okay.
Keep
You
going.
lost me. Oh,
Is there a
okay.
squeaky thing happening somewhere?
Yeah,
I hear
that's
something.
my upstairs neighbors. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Bow,
They
bow,
have
They have
bow.
two really big dogs up there.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, it's probably the dogs.
Okay. I'm willing to ignore it.
All right.
Dogs.
So is there a check you want me to roll for investigating these, or?
Yeah. What's a relevant skill you have for checking
Tinker's
mechanical?
tools?
Yeah. With intelligence or?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
That's a 15.
Okay. So they definitely are similar viscosity, and they kind of the oil from the island definitely burns a lot, like more explosively, in the
Okay.
oil that you found at the hostel.
And I figure it's obvious, but I guess I might as well say I'm sampling like very tiny amounts.
Sure, yeah, so that you still would have some left over.
Yeah.
I imagine, yeah.
And so
I-
if something goes wrong, he has his other hand.
And I took like 2 liters of the stuff from the island,
Okay.
or I think a liter and a half. I have it on
The
my inventory.
the oil you found at the hostel seems to be mixed with blood,
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
that's not great.
and they both do seem to have a similar magical energy, like a
It does.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
like a necrotic sense about it.
Okay. Does it seem intentionally mixed with blood? Like, is it a homogeneous mixture, or does it seem like blood and oil got on the same thing?
Homogeneous.
Okay, so it's like somebody intentionally mixed this, and maybe not, but that could be. It's just, which, given that it's necrotic, lends some credence to the idea. Can I roll like an Arcana check to try to investigate the magical aura or something like that?
Sure. I'm not gonna say no.
14.
Um,
I'm not sure how much I can get off.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
This as I'm not a magic user. I'm just.
You're not a
studying
magic
the-
user, and there's not a lot of it there, but you definitely do get. There's some necrotic energy, like more than you would expect from this amount.
Okay. All right. I need to get Jack to take a look at this. Because he's the only arcane magic user in the party.
I'll be real useful, I'm sure.
That's pretty much all Theodore wanted to do right now. So I'm figure I take a short rest while waiting for them.
Yeah, I just want to look at one more thing to make sure. It's from the previous adventure. I just want to look at where you got the oil from to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just was pulling up the previous.
I'm trying to figure out where my hit dice are on D&D Beyond.
Go up top and click short rest.
Oh, there's just a button for it. How about that? Thank you.
Let's see. So you picked up the oil from the golem, and then you've had it with you. Give me a perception check.
Sure. 16.
You notice there are some specks of light that seem to be intermixed in the oil that you didn't notice when you first picked it up.
Oh, okay. I had that written in the description of the oil.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was there or not. Then they seem more prevalent.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. They seem more prevalent, like I'm noticing them more, or like they've gotten brighter, or like I can't tell.
This seems like there's more of them in the mixture.
Ooh. Okay, interesting. Like there have gotten to be more over time?
There are more now than there were then.
Okay, cool. Interesting.
Dun dun dun.
Not by like it's not twice as many. It might be like 10% more or
It's still interesting though, still unexpected.
Mhm.
We'll log this for further investigation. I'm going to leave the sample from Axis Island in the. I presume I have like a secure locker
Sure. Yeah.
or something, and I'll leave that in there with the other important things.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep the oil sample from the hostel with me
Mhm.
because I want to keep an eye on it. I want to basically periodically check it and see if any light flecks develop in it.
Okay.
I'm just rolling for the HP for my short rest because I want to get some back.
Cool.
And I spent a couple of hit dice on it.
All right. Did anyone else want to do anything in the short rest?
Can't think of anything.
I probably should have spent more hit dice, but oh well, it's too late now. I spent 2 hit dice and I went up to 19.
Okay. Did anyone in the cloud want to do anything before heading back to Central? Or I don't know where you're going next, I suppose, but
I think we're going to pick up Zeodor and then heading to talk to the mayor.
Okay.
Interrupt
At
his
this-
dinner.
Well, yeah. At this point, it is 8:30 in the
Mhm.
evening.
We had also talked about a couple sessions ago going back to the Thinking Man to talk to patrons, like once it's the time that people would go.
The other thing that we had talked about last session was going into the Nettles,
Oh,
Yes,
to the
because-
Nettles, then-
Yep. I got
because
that
we know
too.
that because we know that gang has been was putting pressure on.
Cal Guild
Oh.
works heavily in the Nettles. What's his face? Heward was being
Yep.
terrorized by some dudes who went back to the Nettles.
Yeah, exactly.
There's definitely stuff to be looked at there.
And they're based on the description of what they were doing and the other gang's description of what the Kel Guild has been doing. It's most likely the Kel Guild that's been putting pressure on him,
Yeah.
or that was the conclusion that Zeodor came to, at least.
Let's talk about this in character.
Well, I did last session.
Well, let's assume you guys get back to Central and meet up with Zeodor then.
Is Central the most central place? I know, haha. It's the most central place for us to meet, or is there another district that would be faster
Well, that's
for
where
us
we
to
knew,
meet up?
Theodore would be.
Yeah, the only place that
Oh,
would be
okay.
faster would be the Nettles, but we didn't discuss it
Right.
beforehand.
And
Fair.
unless one of you is very well versed with the Nettles, it's very easy to get lost there.
Mm-hmm. So to Central District.
2 cents.
Okay, cool. So you guys are back at the RHC headquarters. Zeodor has just wrapped up his investigation of the chemicals after handling the paperwork for the captured thugs.
Did you find anything out? Well, did we know that you were going to be doing the oil thing?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how you knew I would be here. I told you that's what I was doing.
Okay. Did you find anything out?
It's a possible connection, but not sure yet. But I have one more experiment currently running. We'll see if it turns anything up. Other things I found out: those 2 men we arrested, both named Jeremy. What are the odds?
One spells it with an I.
Oh, so like Y-N-I-E?
Jeremy.
That one has to be like twice as tough to prove himself.
Yeah.
It spells it with an I instead of the J, but still pronounced Jeremy.
It kind of sounds Slavic.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Okay, so that one was definitely wearing a tracksuit.
Well, they were
Okay.
part of a gang, right?
That's true.
What about you? How was the Skyseer situation?
He's dying.
We'll hook us up with Gale if we take him over the cloud hill.
And has a
Yeah,
request
first.
of us to get him into the peak of Cauldron Hill in the Nettles.
That's what I just said.
Jack
Is
just
Oh.
said.
I'm sorry.
Do I know anything about Cauldron Hill, just from being a citizen? Of,
Yeah, I mean, you'd have heard rumors. I don't know if you've ever tried to go there. I mean, you've seen it. It's
probably
like
not.
it's in the middle of the city, so you can kind of see
Right,
it
yeah,
from anywhere. But
Yeah, I've seen it, but like I probably haven't tried to go there. I can't think of why Zeodor would.
you do know it's said to be cursed. People avoid it. And access is blocked by the mayor of the Nettles. I had that wrong earlier because nobody lives on Cauldron Hill.
Right.
So
Okay.
What's his
the
name?
mayor. His name.
Because I thought you said it earlier.
I did.
You did. Or he did. I got it.
And you guys
Uh,
could have done minimal research to figure that out. Reed McBannon.
McBannon.
MacBannin.
I just spell it how I spell it, and it's fine.
Cool.
So,
I know some people care.
So
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I just try to
So-
make sure I can say it
I
right.
need to go talk to the mayor of the Nettles, and we've got some gang activity to look into in the Nettles.
yes,
To the Nettles.
is there anything else we wanted to? I don't think we had any more connections in Central yet.
Would
No.
speaking to the mayor, like, in the middle of the night be a good idea, or should we wait till tomorrow?
At this point, by the time you get there, it would be 10
A
p.m.
man is dying. I think it's super important we go right now and bang on his door.
I don't think he's dying, like, now.
This is a murder investigation.
No, but I think it's just as... I think that going and talking to patrons at the Thinking Man's is just as good a use of our time as
Yeah.
much as I would like to bang on that door and fuck with the mayor,
We should strike while the iron's hot at the Thinking Man.
and we should let him sleep when he will be much more likely to help us instead of waking him up.
True.
My thoughts exactly.
If we want a yes, which again, I'm taking that man whether we get a yes or no, but getting a yes is probably 12 hours away as opposed to going right now.
Yeah. Let's go to the Thinking Man's.
Plus, I'll have more charm persons ready.
That's assuming you sleep tonight.
Note to self:
I have-
turn all NPCs into elves.
When I woke up, everybody was an elf.
Okay, so just to comb through this out of character for a moment, just to make
Yeah.
sure that we're all on the same page about where our unsniffed leads lie. There's the prison in Pine Island, but that's far away. We've got to either go a long way around or take a boat.
Yep.
If we want to do that. There's the Thinking Man's Tavern in Bosom Strand, where we wanted to talk to patrons and see if they knew anything about the woman who died.
Yep.
And there's the Nettles, where we have the gang activity and the mayor to talk to. But we've come to the conclusion that we need to talk to the mayor tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Those all four of our leads.
I mean,
I think those are all four of our active leads right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
then we're
seems
also
correct.
waiting to get word back from Setchum about Gale.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sky Seer Setchum, not businessman Setchum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we
There's a
head out.
serial killer in Parody Lake that we're not chasing.
Yet.
There's another team on that.
Yeah. I mean, as far as
Curtis,
we
don't have
know,
pictures.
as
They're
far as
fine.
I mean, definitely. But as far as we know, at the moment, it's not connected.
No, it's
Right.
not. I was just being pedantic.
I didn't realize that there was a serial killer, so news to me.
It was mentioned in the player's guide, and I gave an update from one of the news reels that I gave at one point.
Wrote it down somewhere.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good. I was just being pedantic.
No, it's good that
before
you
we-
mention it, because I like those little details, because they do come up every now and then.
Before we head out, Jack,
Yeah.
could you take a look at this? The oil sample we took from the my brain just exploded for a moment and wanted to say
The
bathhouse instead of hostel.
What do you
It's
think I'm gonna
not
see in
right.
it that you don't?
The sample that we took from the hostel, it does seem in some ways similar to the oil from Axis Island. I can't be sure yet, but they have a similar magical aura, which is unusual, and this one seems mixed with blood.
Hmm.
Do
Well, I
you
can
know
try.
anything?
Most of my knowledge is pretty practical, but
Sure, but practical knowledge is what I'm looking for here. My knowledge is all theoretical, and I'm not sure what this use is.
Fair enough. I'll take a look at it. I'm guessing Arcana, Chris.
Yeah.
I could help if you want. Like the help action.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know if the help action would do much here.
Okay.
I actually rolled something decent for once. It's going to be a 17.
Okay. Yeah, you don't really know, can't really tell anything different than what Zeodor's told you. You can definitely tell there's a necrotic aura, and they definitely seem similar. The sample that Zeodor said was from the hostel seems weaker and diluted than the other, but similar magical signature.
Only thing I can tell you looking at this is that there's necrotic energies to it, and the one we picked up from the hostel looks less pure.
Yes, I think it's mixed with blood. It seems to be intentional, but I
Well, if
can't
it's
say for
necrotic,
sure.
There could be something to that. Some kind of
My thoughts
amplifier.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep it on me. We'll see what develops.
Okay.
And we're off to
Magical
Potion Strand.
All right.
Oh, I don't want that.
Murphy's. Rough.
Thinking Man's Tavern.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a real hot spot for Murphy's.
Yeah, I bet. Trace some outbreaks to it.
All right. So you guys make your way down to the tavern that you had checked out earlier in the day, and it's a very different energy now. There's people milling around, spilling out into the street. There's like a patio out front with tables. You can tell there's a lot of people from the university, obviously, that give patronage here. As you step into the front door, the building starts to shake a little bit. People start to freak out some. You see an orc sailor cry out, "Earthquake!" But then the tremors settle down. And then you see a man stand up from his table and yell loud enough for everyone to hear, "Don't listen to the porcine panic! Flint has been geologically stable since it was founded. We could no sooner have an earthquake than a blizzard. It was probably just the ground settling."
Don't
That's
worry.
been happening.
It's just because we're awesome.
And
That's been happening more often lately, right?
Yeah.
yes. And who might you awesome ones be?
We saved the king, don't you remember?
I separate myself from the group.
So sorry. So you guys identified yourselves as
Oh, I say, if you don't know, I'm certainly not going to tell you.
Who do you think is it? Who do you think it is that be saving the king all those months ago?
I flash my badge. Zeodor Ilyich, Royal Homeland Constabulary.
I have a posit for you. In any society where there are rituals of interaction to establish authority and mark the passage of one stage of life to another, you, as law officers, must be familiar with these rituals, particularly with the one where you ask questions. The subject claims to know nothing, and you, by turn, explain how you will punish them for when they do not cooperate. But this is an old tradition, and we live in
While
modern
he's
times.
doing this, I'm going to keep my eyes out for his partner that's going to try to steal our wallets, because that's what this sounds like.
I didn't hear a stop. We live in times that we call an age of reason, and few of the ladies and gentlemen in this fine establishment would prefer if there were an age of revolution. And like a revolution, reason requires us to turn our thoughts, always approach a problem in the same way, with the same ritual, and you miss other possible paths to a satisfaction. So, I pose to you, constables, an assignment. Rather than convincing us that your authority is mighty and that we should quail at the thought of disobeying it, can you give us reason why your authority is legitimate? Can you leave us? We can leave for.
Sorry.
No, you're more than welcome to interrupt him.
No, this wasn't an interruption. This is actually just, what race is this guy again?
Don't say elf, don't say elf, don't say elf, don't say elf.
Half elf.
I don't know if it says. I think he's just human. I'll just assume everyone's human unless it says otherwise.
Okay.
3 goblins in trench coat.
Turns out,
Well-
3 goblins in 2 trench coats.
Gotcha. No, I'm gonna let him keep going. I wanted to note that while he's, I've been listening to what he's asking.
Okay.
I step up to him and I say, I'm Jack Malone. My authority comes from the things I've done. The badge is just a bonus.
Hold on, I'm just trying to.
I just meant I'm pretty.
Halfling.
Halfling, okay. Not elf. That's the part that matters.
Not elf, then die.
I have arrows of not elf bane.
And what, officer, have you done to procure our trust?
Done more good and bad in the name of the people of the sewer than everyone else in this bar combined. Also worked to.
And what makes you arbiters of what is good and bad better than any of us?
The fact that I get up and do it every day.
He deals with good and bad. I just deal with truth.
Well, depending on how you compose yourselves, I suppose we could answer some questions, but I'm assuming you've come here on the tales of the matter of our dear colleague who was slain earlier today. You hear some kind of grumbles around the tavern. Some people kind of pour out a drink sort of action, or.
We find the circumstances surrounding her demise suspicious, and we would like answers.
All I really wanted was a beer and to see what y'all people were doing after she died. Because how a person is remembered says a lot about who they were, and I've been on the clock for 12 hours.
He wants good and bad. I want truth. She wants beer. It works for us.
And I'm just looking for friends, but we'll see how that goes tonight.
I thought that's what Troubles was for.
Well, as long as you.
To get in the bar.
Troubles is here to learn about drinking.
As long as you.
Troubles is getting his roots wet.
Actually, I think I have a.
Oh, God, I don't want to see that fan art.
You unpeeling that one? It's got layers.
Yeah, it keeps going. It's like Troubles on a Saturday night.
Troubles hasn't been alive on a Saturday night yet. Sorry, sentient. He's been alive the whole time.
Well, as long as you're willing to conduct yourselves, we will follow the forms of the ritual and answer your questions.
But by your own admission, the ritual also includes you lying to us and us having to coerce you into telling us the truth eventually.
Well then, I suppose you'll have to discern the lies from the truth yourselves.
Charm person.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he fails, but everyone in the bar can tell what you're doing.
Look,
So they all turn against us.
I'm just trying to speed this process up because we know how it goes, and eventually you do tell people you care about, or like, whatever, the truth.
Okay, so yeah, there's a bit of an uproar, and some people stand up and kind of look in a kind of threatening manner, but he kind of waves them down and is like, No, it's fine. We don't have anything to hide, do we?
Mina gets a beer.
Okay, you get 1 beer.
I'll mark off a spell slot really quick.
Add 1 beer to your inventory.
Yeah.
Definitely will.
Remove 1 beer from your inventory very quickly soon after.
Yep.
Replace with beer bottle.
Replace with empty stein.
Oh man, that's
how it works in
mechanic
RuneScape.
I can never decide if I love or hate.
Filling up your
when
inventory
you-
with empty beer bottles.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in RuneScape all the time.
I mean, essentially, yes. You hit on exactly why I can't decide.
So, what I would like to ask is, I guess to start, how do you know? I forgot her name, but I have her written down somewhere.
Melassa.
Nalasa. Something.
Hume.
Hume. Thanks.
She was a good friend. She came here often enough. She talked a good talk about revolution and sticking it to the man, as it were.
Spoke of revolution.
I don't know if she was just doing that to get on our good side or what, but
I feel like her heart was in that place, at least somewhat. Maybe not sticking it to every man, but like sticking it to the man that wants to keep everyone down and working for not fair. I can't think of the words.
treatment.
Unsafe conditions?
Sure, yeah,
Wages,
conditions.
Treatment, condition. Okay.
All of the above.
Triangle Shirt Factory.
She did recently talk about some more dangerous jobs that she's been getting involved in, but that wasn't really.
Like what?
Well, have you heard about the family?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Recently.
Been messing with the Kell Guild, right?
No, is the Kill Guild.
No.
No,
it's
no,
messing
the-
with
He had
the-
it right.
You're right. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the Kell Guild.
It's right here. It's right here. You're right.
They're from Chrysalier, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Living with his
She'd been corresponding with some Chrysaleri folks, trying to make a good impression with their boss, I think. Talked about something to do with some smuggling.
Oh, Chris O'Leary smugglers, you say?
Theodore's behind it.
And now he's gonna kill me!
I support Theodore.
Wrong.
What? Why am I going to kill you? What?
I'm the dying skies here. We just found
Oh,
you
right,
out.
yes. Except Zeodor's not Chris O'Leary, he's Drakran. I just did business with the Chris O'Leary back in my
Anyway,
smuggling
we're
days.
talking person.
Smuggling, for Chrysalier. Chris. Yeah.
Was she specifically smuggling for the family? I'm just trying to
Well-
get some of your contacts.
All I know is she was working with some Chrysaleri group to acquire something illegal.
I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try using a bit of thieves' cant.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask him if the boxes had seawater or spring air, and what I'm asking him, that translates to, is was she bringing stuff in or taking stuff? Were they smuggling stuff into Flint or out of Flint?
Okay.
I want to see if he understands me.
Okay. He kind of looks at you blankly.
Can I insight that?
Sure.
Just to.
I mean, you could
That
insight
is
that I was using thieves can't, but
Well, I meant more
His reaction.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20.
He seems confused.
Okay.
Never mind. Old expression.
Right. Well, anyway,
Um,
alls I know is she was writing to some guy called Monsieur Morgan Cipriano.
Can you spell that?
Yeah.
The first word is something Italian that I don't know how to
Monsignor.
pronounce. Monsignor
Monsignor. It's just a French word.
or French, yeah, whatever.
Mister.
Yes,
Sir.
Morgan Cipriano. Cippiano.
Has Zeodor have I had any interactions with this person? I've had interactions smuggling into Chrysalier. Have I ever run into this person in particular, or any of his cronies, to my knowledge?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay,
I don't think you would have run into him
cool.
in your circles.
Mr. Kit Piano.
Oh, what was this guy's name, by the way? The one we're talking to?
Yeah, you never asked.
Okay,
To be fair,
right.
did he give us an opportunity?
No.
Not really.
His
By the way, what's your name again?
Hennet
Good friend.
Hennet Renus, at your service.
Let's see. I feel like we can get more stuff out of him. Who is Morgan Cipriano? Whatever.
Beats me. I just know she was writing to him.
How do you know she was writing to him?
I saw. She told me that she'd been writing to him, and said his name, but. And
Did she
like
say-
she said she was hired to acquire something illegal. Aside from that,
Are you familiar with men by the name of Ford Sorghum or Travis Starter?
no, don't think I know the name.
Very good.
I'm not familiar either.
Should I know
Those-
them?
Not necessarily. Those were the two men that Nalasa was arrested with. The two that are currently at Goodson's.
Oh, right. I have. That's why I didn't write those notes, because I have the handout.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
looking at the handout right now.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I have police report. It's a handout in roll 20. Yup, it's right there. Not writing this bullshit. It's in roll 20.
Let's see what else. How often was she in here, by the way?
Nah, every couple of nights.
And do you know anything about any previous boyfriends she had? Or dates she might have brought here?
Which one?
Not the dullard that she had been courting most recently.
Okay.
Any trends among them? Were they all guards? Or people that could get her into places she shouldn't be getting into?
I mean, she was mixed up in a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't put it past her to do something like that. Is that what got her in trouble this morning?
Yep.
That is what allowed her to get into trouble, yes.
Well, I'm gonna miss her. She had quite the spark in her. But no, I can't say that I know much about any trends of her dating life.
But you do know the dullard she was dating recently.
I'd seen him around. Didn't really interact with him much. He Like you said, he was a dullard.
Exactly.
I hope he's like at the next table over.
Hang on.
Is dead.
There's just a weeping over a picture of her.
Used him.
And is dead.
Possibly
Um,
used him. We're not
give me-
sure yet.
Give me a
You can still
insight check, just as a
Sure.
group.
23.
Is that an everybody thing or
Sure.
or just? All right. You say that every week.
Is
Insight.
there, Chris, can I gaze around the bar and just look for anybody that looks suspicious or like they
Yeah,
want to talk to us but are nervous to, or
yeah. I'll get to that. That's a good question.
we froze?
19 insight.
Oh,
Oh no.
somebody
Somebody die?
Yeah.
Was it me? Oh, it wasn't me.
Okay, I think they're coming back.
We froze back there for a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
she
Theodore
disconnected.
and Ilferi, this isn't the type of place you think that Dullard Joe, that I can't remember his name, would probably
Braden Sarkin.
he probably wouldn't come here on his own. This is a little too highbrow for him.
Oh yeah, I figured that.
That was a low DC insight check.
A little too ironic for him to be here.
That was a 19 on that damn check.
Yeah.
Glance around the bar and see if there's anybody
Yeah.
that seems to be like
So Jackie,
suspiciously listening in, or like they want to talk to us but they're afraid to.
not necessarily paying to you overly too much attention, but as you do look around, you do recognize Thames Grimsley,
Okay.
who you specifically met
Yeah.
on the first adventure.
Yeah, I remember him.
Okay. He's kind of glancing over your way. If you catch his eye, he'll kind of like raise a glass in your direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna sidle up over to Thames. Mr. Grimsley, how have things been going in your neck of the woods?
This
Officer?
would be his place.
And buy you a drink. You look like you had a long day.
You could say that.
He holds up a 2 in the direction of the bartender and puts down 2 whiskeys.
Been all around town. Got in a firefight over in Cloudwood. All in a day's work.
Firefight.
Yeah. You know how it goes. Families moving in, kill guilds. Looking to expand, runs into the local boys up there.
Give me an insight check.
$14.
As you mention Cloudwood and Firefight, he glances over in the direction that there's a halfling playing an ocarina. He has long hair. He's kind of like with a circle of other people that are all kind of just like plucking at instruments. Like there's no like real performance or anything. They're just kind of there. But there's a noted look when you mention Cloudwood. Interesting.
Noted look when mentioned Cloudwood. A bunch of hippies and a drum circle.
They're preparing for that guy who's coming to town, Raymond Pell.
Or they're part of the Flogging Lagoon musician commune.
Yeah, I know. I was bringing in that other piece of background lore.
It could be both.
¿Por qué no las dos?
How goes the good fight on your end?
Well, we're trying to do our best to get some rights, and I'm just trying to keep people alive here.
Yeah, I understand.
These arsons happening, and I just don't know what to tell the men. Doesn't seem like anyone's really listening.
Yeah. The arson's on my list of things to look into. It's just, fortunately, that list keeps getting longer every day.
Yeah, I understand. Don't suppose you've had a chance to meet with the governor yet?
Not yet. It's all just red tape and bullshit on my end.
Hmm.
Being a constable is really just a glorified cop, really. Doesn't come with a lot of political clout. All you can do is get in more places and I don't know.
Well, I'm at least happy to see you doing some legwork for one of our own here. She was a good girl. Got mixed up in the wrong crowds, but sometimes people are driven to that when they've got nowhere else to turn.
If this job didn't let me try to at least do some good work in this city, I wouldn't be here. Still just be punching out goons in Parody Lake.
Don't judge her too harshly for what she got herself involved in.
Seen enough young people get caught up in causes that get them killed. Idealism is a beautiful thing until it winds up killing you. Or somebody else.
I hear that. And he raises his glass and downs it.
Yeah, I do the same. Take care of yourself, Brinsley.
You too.
I'll kind of get up and look over towards the rest of the crew and kind of tilt my head, kind of indication towards the musicians.
Okay.
Well, Hennett, I appreciate you allowing me to circumvent the norms of our normal rituals and got straight to the point. It's very helpful of you.
Look, I know I put on a front, but Nalasa was one of us. And we want to know what happened to her.
The same as us,
Exactly.
I assure you.
You just seem to be seeming a little bit more obstinate than we would have liked, so, cutting to the chase is always nice.
Theodore goes over to the musicians.
All right.
I'm gonna head over there too. Also, I am not giving any alcohol to Shrubbles.
Trouble?
Yeah.
You're not giving any alcohol to
Mina
Trouble.
is sneaking alcohol to Shrubbles.
I, as a druid, know that alcohol will kill plants.
Mina is sneaking alcohol to Shrubbles.
Here's the thing. Alcohol will kill most living things. It's all about volume.
Does anyone here speak Elven?
Yeah, I do, because I'm an elf.
Oh yeah.
I do not.
Hey, I don't know. You weren't raised by
speak
elves.
I speak Sylvan, but
Okay.
Yeah, Elven not on my list of 5 languages.
Well, Zeodor, as you get closer to this group, you notice they're kind of like they're cracking jokes in like a broken like pigeon Elven, like not a or not like proper flowing beautiful Elven language, but they're cracking jokes about how the king is a puppet of Dinar and that they kind of are saying that they're the only ones that stand between the imminent revolution against the industrial powers.
Okay, I'm going to listen to them for a minute, and then I'm going to use my Master of Intrigue ability,
Okay.
which allows me to unerringly mimic the speech patterns and accent of a creature you hear speak for at least 1 minute.
Okay.
So I'm not going to like imitate any of their voices exactly. I just want to mimic their speech patterns.
Sure.
You're looking for a. I'm just going. I don't know how. I don't have that many voices,
Yeah,
so I'm just going to do Theodore.
Yes.
You're looking for revolutions.
Indeed, we are. We are the revolution.
Interesting. I take it then that you knew young Nilasa.
Ah, one taken from us so young. But that is what revolution demands. Sacrifice. And they all kind of like look down for a moment and like a very brief moment of silence.
So you believe that her death was related to the revolution?
Well, who can say? We don't know the details of how she died, but well, he kind of looks you guys up and down. I suppose that's why you're here.
Precisely. You do you know why she was at the Norran consulate?
Oh, not exactly. Um,
I'm gonna press on that. Do you know vaguely?
um, I know she was involved in some things. I don't know exactly what she was up to today, but I'm honestly not exactly willing to incriminate one of my friends who recently died.
Well, we aren't looking to prosecute her if that's what you're worried about. Uh, would these things that she's involved with involve someone named Gale?
Yeah, we know she's been hanging around with Gale, but I mean, to be honest, we don't know what she was doing there at the consulate. She had some sort of scheme she was working on, we could tell, with the guard there and everything, but as far as what her end goal was, not a clue.
Mm. Do you know anything more about her interactions with the family?
Yeah, I don't know how deeply she was involved with them. I think she was trying to get involved with them.
Hmm. So. So then, uh, you have no dealings with uh with Gale or the family yourself.
Not directly, no, not with them. We're not really that kind of big time players, if you know what I mean.
So what kinds of players are you exactly?
Ocarina.
And your ocarina is a revolution?
Well,
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Revolution.
um,
Zelda Ocarina of actually, my social idea hasn't been tried yet.
I know she was involved with the Cloudwood Brigands, and they occasionally brought us in for a couple jobs, purely to fund our habits here at the tavern and whatnot, among other things. But
So your claim then is that you're more mercenaries of the revolution.
well, when you put it that way, it makes us sound pretty lame, doesn't it?
Well, if that's all you are, I suppose that's all you are. I'm trying to goad him.
Yeah. Um. Look, we're just small timers. We like to drink. We like to fuck around here. We do a couple odd jobs here and there.
Look, I'm not trying to book you on anything. My friends here can't even understand what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
I just want to know what happened to Nalasa. I'm trying to investigate this because I think it's bigger than whatever your. So honestly, even if you do have criminal history, I don't care. I don't think it's anywhere near as big as whatever we're looking at. So if you've got information, I'm not going after you.
Um, roll me a either. I guess that could be persuasion or intimidation.
It's definitely persuasion. It's definitely. I have limited range with this accent, so, which is why it sounds more intimidating. But it's meant to be much more persuasive.
Okay.
That's it's a 13.
Okay.
Persuasion's not my strong suit, but I did roll well,
Um,
or decently well, I guess.
we have been trying to get in with the good graces of the Chrysaleri that have been moving in town, but nothing more than the beginning stages of correspondence. Our biggest plan right now is we are going to dress up as Eladrin warriors and sneak aboard a ship of fire gems and throw them in the harbor. But I know she had some involvement with those Cloudwood brigands that are up in the mountains, and I can tell you more about where to find them if you want, but
Any information you have could be useful, certainly.
but aside from the beginnings of her involvement with them, and I know she was mixed up with some folks that got sent off to Goodson a couple years ago, but
You're referring to Ford Sorghum and Travis Starter. Do you know anything about them?
I've heard of them. I know she was hanging out with them again, but I don't know if that was in a official sense or not.
Do they have any connection to Chrysalia or the family?
I guess you'd have to ask them.
You said that you were going to dress up as Eladrin and raid a Chrysalia ship?
Not a Chrysalia ship, but it's more of a demonstration against the wartime efforts, the rise of the technology that's going to lead to our ultimate demise, sort of thing.
I nod along while Helper chitters on my shoulder. Yes. All right. Well, I think that's all the information I needed. But if it's just be careful with the Chrysalia smugglers. They like they like to put the gold in the hold, if you know what I mean.
Well, sure, I guess. Like scratches his head, and kind of shrugs it off, and goes back to playing his flute.
All right. Did he give me the information about the Cloudwood, and did he give me anything that we didn't already?
He describes an area very similar to where you encountered name of guy. Renard.
Name of guy. Oh yeah, yeah. But did he give us anything we didn't already know about?
No, not really.
Okay. Um. Okay, so all right, so I'll turn to the rest of the party. They don't know much, but there is. They do seem to think that Nilasa still had contact with uh, Ford and with Sorghum and Starter, the two in Goodson.
Right.
What year is it, by the way?
Wow, way to
1985.
just throw off anything that I was thinking.
Sorry. I was looking at her rap sheet and saw some years on it.
It's in the top of the player's guide somewhere. Or bottom? It's somewhere in the player's guide.
Yeah, I'm not sure right now.
Okay, I'll take a look through the player's guide. Sorry.
But yeah, I didn't get much out of
It
it.
is 500 AOV, which means... Have those guys been arrested more than once?
Oh yeah,
Probably.
I think.
Okay.
You,
I mean,
I think
yeah,
you knew
even
that.
even her rap sheet says that they were known criminals.
Okay.
Oh no, it says they were picked up in a den of known criminals, but the officer recognized them.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering because it sounded like they had said that they were arrested years ago, but they were arrested like months ago.
Yeah, you get the feeling from what you've heard of them so far. They've probably been in and out
Okay.
over the years.
Yeah, but they're currently in some pretty serious lockup because they've probably mostly been in like regional lockup before this, but they got shipped off to Goodson's this time.
Hmm.
Because if I remember right, Goodson's is literally a floating prison.
Yep, it's like a flotilla.
So we have, and Nilasa's possibly had more interactions with the Chrysaliri, so we should certainly investigate those.
Oh, actually, Goodson Historical Reformatory is a fairly recent addition. It says a few months ago is when it started. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're one of the first inmates. Congratulations.
they
I
get a badge on their jumpsuit.
we've got some.
Beta testers.
Yeah, exactly. They get to use that on their gamer tag. Anyway,
God.
we've got some time before we can make much progress in the Nettles. I say we head over to the estuary.
What's an estuary? What's
Goodson's,
an estuary?
Goodson's Estuarial Reformatory? I assume
Oh.
it's an estuary.
I didn't remember the whole name of it. I could really only remember Royal Homeland Constabulary.
It's fine. You're 4 years old. That takes up a lot of your brain space.
That and being able to see
imagine
the
Bill Ferry saying Royal Homeland Constabulary and the same way people say, "Am I being detained?"
that and being able to see the future in the stars. But let's not downplay any one
Also
specific
guidance.
skill.
We
I don't
haven't
know
seen that
guidance
shit
yet. I don't know guidance.
No, I meant the sky seeing stuff.
Yeah, because you got the Skyseer poke.
As we step out of the bar, Jack's gonna kind of grab Bill Ferry and take him aside a little bit. Look, I know what you're trying to do, but you need to be a little more careful with who you charm around here. Eventually, it's going to get us in trouble.
I don't see how it can get us in that much trouble. We're not doing anything technically illegal. We're just getting information faster than we would if we tried to talk our way through it.
It's not about illegality. It's about getting jumped in an alleyway.
It's about
I'm pretty
turning a
sure-
arm of people against us. And it's about making enemies down the road.
As long as I don't do anything that's gonna harm them or cause them ill
I
will.
really don't like being manipulated magically, kid.
Right.
Just trying to give you some advice.
Well, we are doing a murder investigation right now, so I think that takes a little more precedent.
Fine. You want to get shanked? It's not my problem. Yeah,
I'd
let's
prefer
go.
none of us get shanked. But, okay.
It's the only way some people learn.
I'm only doing it when we have to. I'm not just charming every single person I can see. I mean, outside of my normal charms.
And now we're off to prison. Yeah!
Does this jazzy number keep playing while we're in prison?
Oh, totally.
Oh, you're playing that? Okay.
Huh? No, that's playing on the roll
That's
20.
playing through Zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What is? Something?
There's a jazzy ditty going on through
This
roll
is-
20.
1920 Speakeasy by Tabletop Audio. Well, if you're listening to roll 20, you hear it.
Oh, I had my Roll20 audio turned down. I didn't realize. Okay.
So you're finally awake. All right. So it is this point about 11:30 or 10:30.
Okay.
You guys want to go
Prison
over to
gonna
the...
be a great, like, are they gonna be able to have visitors at this hour?
I mean, constables probably, but
It may take a little
we
convincing.
would be waking
But...
up more people.
Yeah.
Let's wake them up and find out.
I mean, you're not going to solve a murder in one day.
No, here's the thing, guys. So it's like 10:30. We've been working on this since 11:30. So we're like 11 hours working on this shit. I'm done.
Alright.
And most of that has been walking around town.
I'm gonna go home.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna take a bath. I'm gonna eat something because this booze has gone straight to my head because I haven't eaten all day because all we've been doing is walking.
We
Zia,
do have some chocolates if you need something.
no one is eating the evidence.
You haven't turned in the evidence yet? How could you? You were at... you were at the precinct. What were you
No,
doing?
I was at the Hall of Justice, not the Hall of Evidence.
I will see you boys bright and early, and I will probably be bright and cheery, unless this becomes a hangover. So I need to go now to make sure that doesn't happen.
Eat your good berries.
Drink some water.
It'll help.
I'm going home.
Jack lights up a new smoke and heads out towards Parody Lake.
All right.
Bye, Jack. Wait, where do I live? Am I going in that direction? Where the fuck do I live?
I don't know. I think you wrote North
Down somewhere.
North Shore / Alchemist Row,
Yes.
Alchemy Row,
I'm headed in that direction.
this general area.
What's in... Where is that prison? That's on Pine Island, right?
Yeah, so it's like somewhere over here.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
far
it's
away.
off the coast of Fine Island. So yeah, over here somewhere.
Oh, actually, it might be up here because it says estuarial, and
Yeah,
that
it's estuary,
looks.
That's where a river and that's where freshwater and saltwater meet.
Yeah, and there's no obvious rivers
there-
on the map in
this
Pine
is a
Island.
river.
Well, that's between West Bank and East Bank. Pine
Yeah,
Island
so
is up
it might
here.
be
Yeah, but
more
this
like
whole
here.
area would be an estuary then.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah, I think it's more
So
like
it's right
this area.
there, number one, in the mayor's mansion. He keeps them all in his basement. Governor's mansion, sorry.
I suddenly don't trust the governor anymore.
There's hope for the kid yet.
All right. So everybody headed home to sleep.
Yep.
Take a long rest.
Yeah, probably. I'm just
Does
trying to think
anyone's
of something
gonna
that
sneak
might
out
be
in
going on.
Batman.
I was trying to think of places to Batman at, but I can't think of anything right now.
Chris, how many shots did I get into Shrubble's bit? Like, is he just walking on his roots, or does he like hop around in a pot?
He walks on his
My
roots. The
spell's
pot
not
actually,
back, so I'm not gonna go Batman tonight.
the pot actually breaks when he's awakened, so he walks on his roots.
Okay, so every single time Ilferi had his back turned, I like stuck one of his roots in a shot glass to see how much he could suck up in that time.
You could also just like pour it on the floor and let him walk over it.
Well, I probably did that too, but like I wanted to give him the option.
Struggle just comes out soaking in booze.
He's wobbling a little bit, but
If you light him on fire, he's a new religion.
he doesn't know how to slur his speech, so
He
Shovels.
doesn't know how to.
Girlfriend, I'm enjoying this alcohol. I should call my ex-girlfriend.
Troubles. You haven't lived long enough to have an ex-girlfriend.
Your ex-girlfriend is a
I had long
ficus.
life. You're not my real dad.
Long rest. Done.
Alright. Yeah, before I go to a long rest, Zeodor is going to go back to the workshop just for a bit to examine the two oils again and see if there's been any change in composition. Most notably, I want to see if any specks of light have developed in the new sample.
okay.
I'll go with him. Like, there's no major rush.
Okay. Yeah, you don't notice any changes for now.
Okay. Ilferi watches Zeodor go over to a locker, pull out a bottle, stick a small pin into two different bottles, streak it on a plate, cap the bottles, put them back in a locker, and go, okay, time to go.
We should turn in that evidence, by the way.
Oh, yes, yeah. I stopped by the Hall of Evidence and turn in the chocolates.
All right.
You thought you were gonna get away with that.
Anything special about these?
Laced with, that
Bay
drug.
pepper.
Bay pepper.
Yeah.
They're dusted with bay pepper. Also, they're evidence. Why would anyone try to eat evidence even if it wasn't dusted with bay pepper? What's wrong with all of you people?
Run any checks on that yet, or do you want us to run anything?
If you
Yeah.
could-
If we
if
can
you
find out
can?
where it
What
came
kind
from.
of checks can you run?
Oh, we can
What's the level of technology?
we can
Magic.
Oh, right. Duh. That was a stupid question.
we can see what the composition of the Fey pepper dusting is. Different markets use different ratios and that sort of thing.
Yeah, anything
That
you
would
can
be
find
helpful.
out.
All right. We'll,
Maybe it's Chris O'Leary Fey Pepper.
check in later, and we'll let you know if we find anything.
Thank you.
Man, I do want a Batman somewhere.
Well, if you're gonna Batman somewhere, I'm gonna use the bathroom. Because I'm long resting.
Zeodor is also going to go to long rest.
My spell slots back.
But while I'm adjusting things in my inventory, I did realize there was one thing I asked about at the end of the last adventure. I was wondering if I could ask about that real quick.
Okay.
'Cause
Oh.
I don't think it goes anywhere.
Sorry, just I'll follow up on where we just were. Was there any other evidence you wanted to turn in?
I'm still running tests. I'm still running my own tests on the oil, so I'm not turning that in. But I will turn in the rag.
Okay.
The rag that I put in the bottle that we also found at the House of Bluebirds.
I've unfortunately lost a decent bit of notes from our first session, which I mentioned last time.
Do you remember what else Nilasa had on her person?
She had some documents
Mhm.
Yes.
about her bail, I think.
Mhm.
Body, leg wound, bail certificate in pocket, receipt for 2,450 for drams. Receipt signed DW Silvo Feldman something. Deacon?
She also specifically did not have the necklace.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
There was a hidden pocket that one of you found.
I don't think it was me.
I remember someone finding it.
Might have been Jack.
What was in it?
There was a empty elixir vial.
Did not write that down.
Oh yes, okay, I remember that being.
I think I actually inspected it for magic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because
I
I had
remember.
oh no, I found it because I had detect magic going. That's how I
Yep.
found it.
That's right.
And yeah, and your initial conclusion was that it had an invisibility potion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
turning
We can
that
still
in.
turn that in just in case we're wrong. I mean, it's also evidence, but
Yep.
And you also with the note that invisibility potions are typically verboten.
Illegal. It
yeah.
is forbidden.
Here's the rest
Okay.
of what we got.
Sorry, I interrupted your train of thought, Zeodor, from a minute ago.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's going to take long because I don't think it actually goes anywhere. But it's something that I meant to talk about or ask about at the end of last adventure, because Azrabi Viral had the orb that generated an area of magical terrain, and then he discarded it.
Oh
I
yeah,
picked up that orb.
right.
And I wanted to know if I could get any information about it. I assumed that I turned that in with any other magical items, but I
Right.
would
You
have
just
examined
forgot
it
to
first.
ask about it, yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
just
it was
forgot to ask.
heat of the moment. I believe.
I was going through my inventory just now
Yeah.
to remove evidence. So
Okay.
I'm assuming it was just like a one-use magic item, so it's not like a thing. But
Yeah. So you since then you've had a chance to kind of look at it. It does seem to be expended.
mhm.
It was a yeah, I believe it was just a like a small little ball trinket, and seems like it had the capability to store some sort of magic, but you're not really sure what that could be, and it seems to be expended.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was all. And I will have turned that in at the end of last adventure,
Right.
just because even expended, it's still technically a magical item.
Okay. All right. So, is everyone taking a long rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing I can really spy on right now. Like until I know about what's her name, Gale. Like nothing to Batman about.
Okay. All right. So you guys have your long rest, and I believe made plans to meet up in the morning. Do you guys want to keep going a little bit longer tonight, or I know you wanted to finish up a little early, but
Honestly, this, if you don't mind ending, I kind of want to.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a
kind
good
of
stopping point.
yeah,
I have to be at work in the morning.
no problem.
It's a good natural stopping point. So
And I think we've gotten a better hold on what our threads are. I will leave off with one thing. As let's see. Who was Jack? I think you were the one asking questions that day.
What?
As you're heading into the office in the morning, a few blocks away, someone kind of is like, "Psst, hey, come here." Down an alley.
I'll
got-
put my hand on my gun, but I'll go see what he wants.
Yeah, no need for that. Been hearing that you've been asking around about a particular doctor.
Yeah. What's it to you?
Come to Lammer's Theater in Parody Lake tonight at 8. And he just starts to walk off.
Alright, and I'll also turn and leave. And we'll find out what's there next week.
Okay. One thing I do want to say, just because if I don't say it out loud, I'll forget it. But if I do say it, I'll probably remember.
Okay.
Before I go into the office in the morning, I want to go by the docks. Because I want to ask early in the morning. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to go to the docks. I'm going to ask about shipments of fire gems. Fire gems. That's it.
Okay.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to blow up their spot, but I do want to take a look for that, just in case it ends up being those guys end up being more of a problem, and I need to blow up their spot.
All right. We'll deal with that next time.
And I'll give you my question for my sky seeing next
Okay.
session.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Also, I just looked at chat. I will not eat the evidence. It is full of drugs.
How many
Full of
drugs?
Would you eat the evidence?
Maybe one
No.
was missing.
Maybe a quick snack.
If I were a different character, probably, but no, not Z.
All
It
right.
wasn't chocolate.
Well, we will be back next Monday. Same Kraken time, same Kraken channel.
Catherine and I'll be back
This
before
one.
Beyond Two Souls on Friday.
Oh, yay.
Unless she has to work super late.
No. Yeah, that I think.
Yeah, we should
that
be back.
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
I'll try to get a stream in on Thursday if I can, but I don't really know what I'm playing right now, so figure that out too.
Cool. Happy sprint to Christmas, everybody.
Woo!
I have to buy Christmas presents.
Oh no! All right.
I have to give a speech at my sister's wedding.
Oh.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good
And I
Good